Let's talk about feelings. Alright, so your marriage is in trouble. Well, it happens. And we gotta figure out a way to fix it. So we're going to talk a little bit about today about how to fix a failing marriage. First things first, I brought a little object lesson. I thought it might help. This is a piece of bubble gum. You've probably seen them before. Bubble gum is very important to a marriage. I hope you realize this. Because, like many things, it's something small, but when you chew it, it becomes big, and it stretches, and that's really important for a marriage. You really need to be able to stretch and to be flexible for yourself and for your spouse. And that's just not just for yourself, but for both of you. Because if you're not flexible, if you don't really get into it, then it doesn't really work, and then you just become a little pink blob. And that's pretty sad. Alright, so moving on. Talking about how we need to keep things together. We need to make sure that you are bound together completely. And the best way I can describe this is by using a stapler. Because when you staple things together, you're really binding them together. That is if you have staples. But if you don't have staples, then you can't bind things together. And staples are the foundation of your life. So find those staples, those things that bring you together, and then use the stapler and staple your marriage back together. But remember, you have to have staples first, because if you don't have staples, you don't have that common ground of things that bind you together, then it won't work very well. The next thing we're going to talk about is gossiping. Gossiping's really bad. Gossiping can be very hurtful to both your spouse and yourself. We're going to talk about this like a can of peas. This is an ordinary can of peas. I'm just going to open it up here. See? This is an ordinary can of peas. And when you look inside this can of peas, you see peas. And they're all nice and kept nicely in here. And if you pour them out like this, they get all over the place. And if you throw them around like this, they're going to get all over the place too. And the same can be said about gossiping, because this little pea, this is something about your spouse that you know. And if you decide to just tell anybody, that pea's just going to fly anywhere. You can't really pick that up and put that back in, especially not after people step on it and it gets squashed and ground into the carpet. And then it's just nasty. And if you try to pick up a ground up pea off the floor, well, I think you're having a little bit of a rough time, and I think you should see somebody about that. Marriage is also spoken about as the bonds of matrimony. And what better way to describe that than using dental floss? Right? You use dental floss in the morning and at night to rid yourselves and your teeth of the grime and the dirt and the nastiness and everything that's just gross in your mouth. And this is a great metaphor for things in your life that you shouldn't have, or things in your life that are gross and dirty and that you should probably throw away. And all of this is a really good example of how not to use dental floss. So remember, use the dental floss as an example and a reminder. Every time you use dental floss in the morning, remind yourself, I'm not just cleaning my teeth, I'm cleaning my marriage of everything that shouldn't be in it. Last but not least, we have the hair dryer. And if you do everything that I've talked about, if you do everything how you're supposed to, you'll be able to feel the warmth of your love keeping you together. And a blow dryer not only gives you warmth, but it also keeps things dry and safe and nice. Now I'm glad we've had this little discussion. I'm really hoping that you'll go out and you'll remember the things that I've taught you. So go forth. Remember not to eat squashed up peas off the floor. Remember to floss every day.